Have you ever found yourself stuck in a circumstance, feeling overpowered and incapable to discover peace? It's a common battle. But what in case I told you that the key to victory and bliss might fair be learning how to walk absent? Stoicism is all almost living in agreement with reason and ethicalness, and it's an antiquated logic that's still unimaginably pertinent nowadays. At its center, Stoicism is approximately recognizing what's inside our control and what's not, and after that, centering our vitality on the previous. It's around developing a sense of internal quality, versatility, and shrewdness that permits us to explore life's challenges with ease and beauty. But what does this have to do with strolling absent? Well, some of the time, the foremost effective thing ready to do is to let go, to discharge our hold on a circumstance, a relationship, or an objective that's fair not serving us. Strolling absent can be a fantastically freeing involvement, and it's frequently the key to unlocking our genuine potential. When we're stuck in a circumstance that's depleting our vitality and holding us back, strolling absent can be the bravest thing we are able to do. It's not continuously simple, of course. It takes strength and conviction to walk absent from something that's recognizable, indeed on the off chance that it's not serving us. But the rewards are well worth it. I keep in mind a time when I was stuck in a harmful relationship. It was choking me, depleting my vitality, and making me feel like I was strolling on eggshells all the time. I felt so caught, so stuck, and I didn't know how to elude. But one day, I realized that I had the control to walk absent. It was a frightening thought, since I didn't know what would happen another, but I knew I had to do it. To begin with, it was tough. The other individual didn't need to let me go, and they made it exceptionally troublesome for me to take off. They would call me, content me, appear up at my entryway. They did everything they might to trip me into remaining. But I knew that I had to be solid. I knew that I had to require care of myself, indeed in case it implied being alone for whereas it was difficult to stand up to the allurement to go back, to drop into ancient designs and propensities. But I knew that in case I did, I would be right back where I begun, stuck, despondent, and unfulfilled. So I kept moving forward, indeed when it felt just like the hardest thing within the world. There were times when I felt so alone, so frightened, and so dubious around long haul. But I kept strolling, kept moving forward, and kept centering on my claim development and improvement. And you know what? It paid off. I begun to feel more confident, and more at peace. Looking back, I realized that strolling absent from that poisonous relationship was one of the finest choices I ever made. It was a turning point in my life, a minute when I took back control and started living in understanding with my possessed values and standards. It wasn't simple, but it was worth it. The essential minute came when I realized that I didn't ought to settle for a life that was less than what I merited. I didn't ought to acknowledge the status quo and go through the movements. I had the control to form the life I needed, which realization was unimaginably enabling. It was a minute of clarity, a minute of knowledge that changed everything for me. I felt a sense of weight lifting off my shoulders, a sense of flexibility and freedom that I had never experienced sometime recently. And from that moment on, I knew that I would never go back to being stuck once more. Strolling absent from that harmful relationship instructed me so much around myself and almost life. It instructed me that I am solid, able, and flexible. It instructed me that I can handle anything that comes my way, as long as I remain centered on my claim development. And it taught me that in some cases, the finest thing able to do is to let go and move on. When we walk away from a circumstance that's not serving us, we make space for something modern and better to come into our lives. We make room for development, for learning, and for advancement. We open ourselves up to unused encounters, unused connections, and unused openings. And that's where the enchantment happens. That's where we begin to live a life that's really satisfying, genuinely important, and genuinely true. We begin to live a life that's adjusted with our values, our standards, and our most profound wants. We begin to live a life that's really our own. So, what can we learn from the control of strolling absent? We will learn to be courageous, to be courageous, and to require control of our claimed lives. We will learn to let go of what's holding us back and to move forward with faith and certainty. We are able to learn to believe ourselves, to believe our instincts, and to believe the universe. We will learn that strolling absent isn't a sign of shortcoming, but a sign of quality. It's a sign that we're willing to require risks, to challenge ourselves, and to develop. It's a sign that we're committed to living a life that's really satisfying and genuinely important. On the off chance that you are feeling stuck right presently, I need you to know that you simply have the control to walk absent. You have got the control to require control of your claim life, to form changes, and to form the life you merit. It won't be simple, but it'll be worth it. So, I need to take off you with a challenge nowadays. I need you to think about one range of your life where you may be holding on too firmly. Is it a work that's depleting your energy? Is it a relationship that's poisonous or unhealthy? Is it a propensity or a design that's holding you back? Anything it is, I want you to think around strolling absent. Think almost letting go, discharging your hold and moving on. Think about the flexibility, the liberation, and the empowerment that comes from taking control of your claimed life. And at that point, take the primary step. Take one little step towards strolling absent and see where it takes you. Do not be anxious to share your possess encounters within the comments underneath. What's one time once you strolled absent from a situation that wasn't serving you? How did it make you feel? What did you learn from the encounter? Share your stories, share your shrewdness, and let's bolster each other on this travel of development and self-discovery. And in the event that you're unused here, consider subscribing for more experiences on Stoicism, individual advancement, and living a life that's genuinely satisfying and genuinely significant. Much appreciated for observing, and I'll see you within the following video.